America barreling towards a recession? According to the Moody's Analytics chief economist, the answer may be yes, saying 22 states and Washington, D.C. are either at risk or already in a recession. They account for nearly a third of the national GDP. And he says while the national economy isn't there quite yet, it's, quote, clearly losing steam. News Nation's Alicia Nieves has been crunching the numbers for us. Good morning, Alicia. Just how real are these recession concerns?
They're very real, Hannah. I mean, we're starting to see unofficial recessions indicators flash, and they're flashing bright reds. Many Americans, even many on Wall Street, are focusing on them because we're in the middle of this federal data blackout thanks to the government shutdown. So it's the only thing we have to look at right now. The clearest indicator of a slowdown is coming via overdue car payments. Right now, 6.5% of subprime borrowers, those with credit scores below 670, or at least 60 days late on their car loans. This is according to Fitch Ratings. That's actually worse than any point during the past 3 recessions. You're talking the COVID pandemic, the Great Recession, or even the dot-com bust. And we're seeing cars repossessed at the highest rate since 2008 and 2009. Now, we're also seeing a pawn shop indicator where pawn shop operators are reporting a boom in lending. First Cash, the largest pawn company in the country, says same-store pawn loans, those are up at the end of June 3rd.
Yeah, for a lot of people, basically where the recession is stopping the movement of the money, all right? And for a lot of people, what's basically happening is you are seeing a slowdown in economic activity. Anton, is next year a good time to buy a car? Anytime is a good time to buy a car if you can afford to buy a car. I don't think that you should look at the car. That's the key. I don't think that you should look at a car as what? A car should not be looked at as an asset. A car is an asset. It shouldn't be looked at as an asset. What does that mean? Don't look to get a return on your money. It doesn't matter when you buy a car. It matters how you're spending money or how you're spending your resources to buy the car. That is the bigger conversation that we need to have. Doesn't matter if you buy the car. It matters if you can't afford to buy the car, if you have to finance it. This is what my rule of thumb is, all right? Dave Ramsey got a completely different perspective than me, okay? I'm okay with financing the car. I'm not okay with having to finance the car. Do you understand what I'm saying? Let's say, for example, you got 50,000, 60,000, 70,000 stashed, and you have the money for the car, right? And you decide that you want to invest the money and then just pay. You still got the money for the car, but it doesn't mean that you want to allocate $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 towards one lump sum payment of that car. I don't believe in being interdependent on a company or a job to make sure that I can pay my car note. I want to make sure that I already got the money and that it's not a struggle. But then the question then becomes, should I spend that money on that, or should I allocate that money to make more money? And then that's what you want to, start having a conversation about. But most people can't afford it, right? Most people can't afford it. I say pay yourself off. I always say pay yourself off. The biggest economic indicator of whether or not you're running into a recession, I don't think it's any one biggest. It's a combination of different things. The fact that people are running out there pawning their stuff is crazy to me. That's crazy. I see people taking out HELOCs, home equity lines of credit, not because they want to go and expand some business or expand their house. They doing it so that they can float themselves. I see people paying their bills with credit cards, not because they're trying to get points, but because they're trying to stave off the inevitable of, crashing out and burning. I see people sticking around with each other and not breaking up because they can't afford to go their own separate ways. You know how the biggest reason for a divorce is money? On the flip side of that, the biggest reason why people stay together is what? Money. Young moolah, baby, is money. is one of the biggest reasons why people decide to stay together is money. I don't even think you should concern yourself of whether we in a recession or not, or whether we headed to a recession. I think you should concern yourself. It's two ways that you can look at this. If you are in a position of power, it's going to be a buying opportunity. The rich people, they don't suffer. And this is why I keep telling y'all why socialism is bad. All socialism does is tie you to the federal government, make you more interdependent on it. When you get away from a socialist mindset, then that's when you start looking at it like a capitalist. Capitalists take advantage of downtimes. Capitalists buy, that's all a pawn shop is a microcosm of what capitalism is. When people are suffering and then they run over to the pawn shop in order to buy their stuff, guess what? The pawn shop is going to offer you lower than what you really feel like it's worth, because they know that they can take advantage of you at a time of need. A pawn shop is a really good example of what capitalism is, of what people have. When people have money, they can take advantage of people that don't. So when you're losing your house, somebody is going to go and buy it for pennies on a dollar. You're going to go, this watch right here, right? Now, I could sell it on the gray market. I could sell it on the gray market or the secondhand market, and I could probably get close to, if not as much as I paid for it, right? And I paid, I don't know, I think like 40,000 for this, a little over 40,000, something like 40,000 for this. It's a solid rose gold, solid rose gold. If I took this to the pawn shop with my box, with my papers, with my receipt saying that I'm the only owner, I would imagine they would probably give me less than half. They will probably give me less than half. And they're going to wear your shit. And they're going to wear it. That's one thing I learned about pawn shop owners, is everything that they wearing is not something that they actually own. It's something that somebody else pawned, and they basically loaning it to themselves while you try to figure out the money to come and buy it back. Listen. When you see this pawn shop owner walking around with your fucking Rolex on, they wear your stuff 100%. Honest to God, I know this for a fact. They wear your stuff. They go to a special event and they have on your watch. They have on your watch. I guarantee you they have on your watch. Pawn shops is popping. Repo men is popping. Eviction men is popping. All of that. When that start getting going, you know it's a tough time for most people out here in these streets. You know it's a tough time for the people in the streets. And I'm not happy about the fact that it seems like I don't think that this heat is working the way that it's supposed to. So I might work from home tomorrow. I don't know.
15% from the year prior, while Easy Corp, which runs hundreds of pawn stores across the country, said loans outstanding, those rose 11% in the last quarter, up to more than 200.
Somebody said you better off selling on the gray market. Well, here's the problem. You need money immediately. That's why poor people are the most profitable. You need money immediately. That's why poor people are the most profitable, because they think and they do stuff under duress. This is listen to what I'm saying. Fuck all of this right here. This has been a great show. You guys have been great. And you've allowed for me to rant and teach you and put the medicine inside of the candy and show you some new things and all of it. Being poor is demonic. And I've said this over and over again. Being poor is demonic, because you do things you otherwise would have never done because you under duress. And this is why people sign up for payday loans. Does it make sense for you to sign up for a payday loan? Absolutely not. But you need money right now. You need money right now. So you're going to take this 300% interest loan because you need money right now. Do you see rich women on the fucking street selling box? No, you don't. You know who you see selling box? Somebody that need money right now. Right now. Do you think that the women like selling box? You think they like walking up and down the street? No, but they need money right now. Immediately. 100%. People selling and pawning their stuff. Wait a minute. You mean I would have to sell it, verify it, take pictures of it, take 50 different pictures, post it online, possibly try to find a buyer, have them hold my money after it being on the auction block for 7 days. If it meets the minimum threshold for them to sell it, then I can possibly get my money released. By the time you ever get into it, it's a month or two later before you finally get your money. Why would you do that when you can go and get $18,000 right now? I'll do it. I got you, Super Gaming. Why would you do it when you can go and get some money right now? Because in your mind, you know what? I'm going to get that money back. I'm going to come up off of that. I'm going to be able to hustle that back up or whatever. And you can get money. You can get dollars. You can get some dollars, some hard, cold cash that's not even worth the paper that it's printed on. You can get it right now. Right now. That's the mindset. Man, I can't be waiting. I ain't even got no driver's license. I ain't even got no account. I don't know what this is. I don't know what's going on, whatever, so on and so forth. Man, I need to get my money right now. Right now. And people sell their birthright. It's in the Bible. All of this stuff has been predicted. They're giving you the blueprint of everything that's happening. All of this stuff is that people will sell their birthright. You know what? They gave you the lesson of how you lose your birthright. Right? And the brother sold his birthright. He said, what's the point of having this birthright that I can't capitalize off of when I'm hungry right now? I'm about to die. And he said, well, give me your birthright and I'll give you something to eat. He sold his birthright out for pennies on the dollar. Jacob and Esau. That's correct. Good job, Tam. He sold his birthright for nothing. Would you think that they put that in the Bible because it was irrelevant? No, it was a business lesson. It's a life lesson. Do you know what people are willing to do for some fucking food that they wasn't willing to do 2 years ago? You know what people are willing to do for some food? That they wasn't willing to do 2 years ago. Last year, they was up. This year, it's a recession. It doesn't even matter about whether or not the economic opportunity is changing for the United States of America. You got to worry about you. You got to worry about you. And if you're not worried about you, you're in trouble, bro. I'm just telling you. You may not necessarily want to hear it. Don't make it any less true. You might not like it. You might not want to hear it. And don't make it any less true. It is what it is, bro. Price of the brick is in the toilet right now. But shout out to the chasers. Shout out to the bag chasers. Shout out to the Patreon members. We own it. We own it. We own it. We own it. And the rich people, they just sitting here like this. Let me tell you what rich people are. Rich people that got money and resources, they sitting back like this. That's crazy. They stand out the way. They know it's not popular right now. It's not popular right now to be popping. It's not popular right now to have money. It's not popular right now to get resources. And so they sitting there quiet, polishing their Ferraris, stacking up on their cash, waiting to capitalize and take advantage of the market. And they're going to run it up. And I learned this a long fucking time ago. I learned in 2008, and I said, all right, You ain't got to convince me again. You ain't never gonna have to convince me again. I'm never gonna be in the position to suffer and give away my shit. I'm gonna be the lender. I'm not gonna be the person that's borrowing. I'm gonna be the lender. And so I just stay steadfast when everybody else is doing what they doing. I stay doing what I'm gonna do, and then I'm gonna go and get that bag.